Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. I've decided to start introducing it like an NPR podcast. I'm joined by my co-host this afternoon, my wife, Natasha Leggero.
Hey, how's it going? What?
I'm fine, Natasha. Any update on the news this week?
Just enjoying this Saturday.
So you're doing the NPR host with a speech impediment that we have noticed so many times over the years. Tosh, this is a tough afternoon for me.
Why?
I just found out that this person that I follow on Facebook that I've never met in real life, but I obsessively follow her posts because she's filled with drama, broke up with her one of her polyamorous boyfriends. And
Is this a comedian?
no, I don't think so. It's a person I literally don't know and have never met. See,
You just hate follow her on Instagram?
This is what you have missed when you jumped off of the Facebook train. Now, I stayed on Facebook when you dropped off because I support what they're doing politically. And you decided not to be involved in Facebook. But I have this group of people, some of whom I barely knew 20 years ago. And some of whom
still get updates? Some
of whom I do not know at all. But I religiously follow their updates. It's called a cringe follow. And I ride with their lives so hard. I know when they're dating someone. I know when they got into a road rage incident. I know when they put up a GoFundMe to buy them a new computer because they need a new computer. I mean, it's like this is what you're missing out on by not being on Facebook.
Do you ever give anyone money?
No, I mean, I give GoFundMe money when people are like sick or have an actual need. I'm talking like fun GoFundMes. Like, can anybody? I need $100 for an Uber to the airport. GoFundMe type of thing.
People do that.
Oh, this was a good one. I need $1,000 for a new MacBook because I will only get only Mac product, only Apple products. GoFundMe. I'm talking that kind of GoFundMe. Okay. Now you got leukemia, you got Crohn's disease.
You give money?
I'm kicking down $100. Yeah, if I know you.
Same as a wedding, right?
Yeah, it's like a wedding. It's like
not everyone gets a wedding, so
yeah, GoFundMe.
Why not do it?
I'll give it to a GoFundMe to somebody I know or am tangentially connected to.
We did a GoFundMe for our honeymoon.
Did we? No, we didn't.
It was called a honey fund.
That's different than a GoFundMe.
It's not how everyone gives you $100 so you can go to Bora Bora.
No, because that's completely different. It wasn't. Why? Because GoFundMes are like need based.
We needed a honeymoon.
This was like instead of a registry because we didn't want a bunch of blenders. We did a honey fund, and when it worked, we got upwards of $700,000 on that honey fund. You remember that? We straight up pulled in $750,000.
I think it was more like just enough to cover a trip to Bora Bora.
No, I think it was just enough to cover one plane flight, I believe.
I think it did just pay for one flight.
We're still paying off that honeymoon, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't worth it. But you know what was worth it?
What?
The endless honeymoon that we're on right now.
Oh, that's true.
Now, Natasha, I had an idea.
Yeah?
I was thinking maybe you and me could start playing pickleball.
What? Why?
I thought it could be fun. Pickleball.
You love trends.
It's not about a trend. I mean, here's the thing. I've been noticing that you're taking a lot of tennis lessons.
Yeah, tennis is different though.
Yeah, but you're bad at tennis.
Oh, so you think I might be like average at pickleball?
Pickleball is easier. That's its whole thing.
Like way easier?
Like way easier.
But then you have to go buy a pickleball racket? It's a different racket.
Is it a different racket?
Yes.
And do they play with a pickle? I don't know about the sport, but it sounded very Jewish, and I was excited about that.
Speaking of pickle, my daughter told me this morning that she remembers me eating pickles when she was in the womb and her trying to eat them.
She said she would be reaching up, trying to grab them.
She'd be reaching up to my mouth from inside my stomach to eat the pickles, and she said she remembers that.
She's a pickle freak, that girl. Your daughter, I mean.
But pickleball...
You know, I don't love it when you refer to her as your daughter.
Your daughter?
Well, I would go with our daughter.
All right.
Yeah, because we both made her. She's a product of my bust and your Heg.
How much time do you want to put into pickleball, Moshe?
I would say we could start off, like you don't want to start overly ambitious when you start a workout regimen. So I would say we start off with like 2 sessions a day, 7 days a week.
That's
like 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And what could
jealous of people who do that.
Well, what could be cool is if we teach my daughter to referee, so she has a place at the table as well.
We could become a pickleball family.
I would love to be the family pickle.
But then because this is a dumb new trend.
Yeah, why is it dumb? Just because it's popular?
Because now everyone wants to do it because they see it on Instagram or something.
Why does that make it dumb though? I mean,
well, you have to have different shoes. You need to have a different ball. You need to have a different court. And you need to have a different racket than tennis.
you
Wouldn't
think
it be
there's
easier?
pickleball shoes?
I think so.
There's no pickleball shoes. What are you talking about? There's no way there's pickleball shoes. I'm pretty sure it's just sneakers.
Okay, well, you got to like draw new lines on the court.
I don't think you're allowed to draw lines on the court. I think you have to
You powdered lines.
I think you have to find a pickleball court, I believe.
Twice a day.
Twice a day, every day, 7 days a week for a quarter. And then we check in.
I think that would be such a great thing for us to do with our lives.
To just play pickleball all day?
Just to exercise twice a day.
We'd be in such good shape.
With our kid. You don't think Serena Williams' kid is out there on the courts?
I'm sure Serena Williams' kid is probably one of the preeminent pickleball players of our generation. King Pickle. You ever saw that movie about her dad, King Pickle?
No, but
what if
that movie about her dad was good.
What if King Richard was about pickleball? It would change the stakes so hard.
There's a reason why that sport is not in the Olympics.
It's a brand new sport. It might be
silly.
in the Olympics.
I don't think it's brand new.
It's not?
Oh, is it like... I thought it was from like the 50s.
I don't know. Anybody do any research on pickleball? Anybody know? Anyway, my friend in Hawaii said he's like plays pickleball every day. So
what about your wife in LA who goes to play tennis? Why don't you come play with me?
She's bad at tennis.
You're worse than me.
I don't take lessons. And it's because I know when I'm good at something, I do it. And when I'm not, I quit it. Now, doesn't your tennis teacher like make fun of you for being bad?
All I can say is I have gotten one compliment on the court once.
Really?
I was on the courts.
Yeah.
And there was like a group of high schoolers playing.
Yeah.
And one of the guys said to me, "Wow, you're really good."
Really?
Yes, but I will say when we were leaving, I walked back over to my teacher. I said, "Oh, that guy said I was good," and my tennis teacher told me it was a special needs class. And then I was like, "Oh, it was starting to come together. Like they weren't even getting it anywhere near the ball." But I was just so like shocked that someone thought I had good form.
I think maybe it's time to start pickleball.
Yeah,
based on that story, that feels like a pickleball origin story.
All right. Well, let me think about it. Let me just find out if you need different shoes.
I don't believe you do. I mean, you could wear those Uggs, floofy slippers that you're currently rocking right now.
Well, I was thinking that maybe they would be cut out of the performance, but
out of the podcast? You call this a performance? Okay, Natasha. Speaking of performance, we have a lot of performers that have called in today. Well, actually, we have two, which is the format of our show, and they're waiting right now to speak to us. And I thought we could begin by speaking to the first one.
Let's do it.
Let's see how we perform.
Okay, now we're going to call Jillian in New York.
Ah, Jillian in New York. Old JNC.
Hello.
What's up? How are you? How's New York?
Are you in bed?
I'm good. I'm in bed. I'm actually in a hotel in Europe.
Okay, Jillian.
Something about me. Something about me.
Where in Europe are you right now?
I'm in Amsterdam, actually. I'm here to see the tulips.
I thought you were referring to a rock band for a second, and then I realized they have actual tulips in Amsterdam.
Is there an exact
They do.
window when you need to arrive to see the tulips?
Like around now, next few weeks, month of April.
Jillian, have you ever played pickleball?
Yeah, in my high school gym class, of course.
And how were you? And how is it? Is it fun?
I would not use either of those words to describe my experience with pickleball,
Okay.
but
Easy or fun?
Okay, interesting.
Right.
Well, so you were challenged when it came to pickleball.
I was challenged when it came to most high school gym related things.
Me too.
Gotcha.
I already told my daughter, I was like, just so you know, I was the last to get picked all the time. And because I know that she's
a squirt.
She's little.
Jillian, are you little?
I even took the lifetime PE class at my high school, which was like the class that's all girls and you do like yoga, but they can't call it yoga because the teacher's not certified. So you do like gentle movement and like aerobic.
Was it connected
walking
to the Lifetime channel? Because it's sounding very like feminine energy.
I wish that would have been more fun, honestly, but mostly it involved listening to like the same CD of like 2010 songs and doing step aerobics.
I have to say that my dream workout plan would be light light movement and walking.
With high school girls. Yeah.
I think I would be really happy with that. And like an occasional swim, but only if the pool's 90.
Jillian, are you in Amsterdam with a lover, or are you all by yourself?
I'm with a secret third option, which
No
is
way.
my mother.
A lover. I gotcha.
Does she get you your own hotel room?
No, we're sharing a hotel room and I kicked her out and she doesn't know I'm doing this.
Okay,
so...
cool. Are we going to talk shit about her? What do we got?
Yeah, tell us what's going on.
No. So, bit of a situationship. So I'm here now because I'm living in Europe for the year, living in like a somewhat small city, teaching English for the year. And I haven't really been dating, but like about a month ago now, I met this guy who was in town for the week. And we hit it off, like spent the whole weekend together. And then he like went back to the city, whatever, a few hours away where he was living at the time. But shortly thereafter, he moved to a different country to study Arabic for the next like 3 months to year and a half, more distant country. So in my head, I was like, whatever, I'm never going to see him again. Let's just like spend the whole weekend together, crazy weekend, whatever. Period. That's it. But like that was a month ago and we have been texting every day since. And I feel like I am investing a lot in this emotionally. And I'm kind of in this spot now where I'm like, should I continue this? Where is this going? What do I want to do?
Got it.
Do you feel like you're a little more on his nuts than he is yours?
On the ball to his pickle.
It feels pretty mutual. Like pretty much we text every day and sometimes I will initiate and sometimes I'll just leave it and let it lie and he will initiate. And a lot of times it's clearly like, oh, this is just an excuse to text me. Like he's texting me right now about, I don't know what, I'm going to silence my phone.
Do you feel like he's moved too much into like the zone of boyfriend, girlfriend, and you need to like always be like constantly, like it's almost like your text relationship doesn't match what you're feeling?
It's a little bit of, we have this very consistent text relationship and I don't know how to feel about it. Is this just a text boyfriend that's in my phone and we text as if we are in a relationship, but we're not?
Part of a relationship is making future plans together.
Ooh, Natasha coming through with a bomb. That's a straight up. That's one of the similar to one of the bombs that dropped on Amsterdam in the Second World War. Destructive and filled with atoms of truth.
Very true.
So,
very true.
So do it. See if it can work, or maybe it'll happen organically. Bring it up. See what he comes back with. I agree with you, Natasha, that making some plans would behoove you because then you could like figure out what this is about. But I also feel like, how old are you?
I'm 22.
22, and not to be condescending, but you don't know anything. I'm joking. That's not what I was going to say. I feel like the young generation is obsessed with, and maybe they were like this in the 90s too, but I feel like the obsession with figuring out what a thing is before you're experiencing the thing is destructive to your experience of the thing. It's like this need to know. I mean, what, you guys had an affair in some small town in like Latvia or whatever, and you shared a strudel, and he got on the bus and left, and now he's in Morocco, and you're like, what is it? But like, can it just be a fun like a European affair? And then but taking Natasha's advice, making plans to meet, once again in Paris or whatever, have another weekend together, and then you go, figuring out what a thing isn't just about asking what is this thing. It's about experiencing the thing and then going, I see what it is.
And you need a few more times alone with him
Yes.
to really see if he's like, what if he does something that's like so annoying or a deal breaker? Like, you don't always know those things up front, especially not if you're not around them.
Because
you have a couple memories of people on their best behavior, but haven't you watched that show? What's that? Where they
90 Day Fiance?
Yeah, 90 Day Fiance. They're all meeting because they're like in their best clothes. They borrowed a Rolex. They're like partying on the beach. They're having the time of their life. And then they go back to live in their like great uncle's basement, like all alone, and then the person comes and they're like, surprise.
You know, I've been thinking about basement living. It gets a lot of shit, but there might be some really nice basements in people's parents' houses out there.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying you don't know him very well. You haven't been around him. You've only seen him in his prime.
Right. And what happens?
Traveling, staying at a hotel.
What happens when you're abroad, especially in the situation you're in, which is that you're abroad, you're not in the big city, you're in a little town just surrounded by people in Lederhosen. Like you're a little lonely. You know, you're having a cool experience, but you're a little lonely. So you start like doing this like fantasy play, like, oh, but we text every day. It's been 3 months and we were intimate that one time. What could it be? It's like, just like go on a trip, meet him in Mykonos and then figure it out. Like, why do you need to figure it out now?
Yeah, it's totally that. I think being in a small city and then like meeting an American who like I click with, and especially for me, like I graduated college a year ago from like a very like nerdy intellectual, been in school my whole life way. So it's really nice to like be able to connect with someone who can do that. And we had this a very intense experience together. And now it's like, right, should we be making future plans?
Relationships are like fish. They either move forward or die.
Oh, they keep moving or die? I like that.
But I think Woody Allen said that.
But
it has to be moving forward. It has to be making future plans. And if it's just this plateau of like friends, you kind of need to see him one more time before you guys decide that via text. So just make it happen.
He's texting you every day or you're texting him. He is interested in you. He likes you. He's probably lonely too. He's probably in Morocco going, I wonder what this is. But it doesn't. I think Natasha's right. Like just experience it, make another plan, meet up, and if nothing else, it's you got your little eat, pray, love affair while you were in Europe, and then you go back to the States and get on with your life. Or maybe he's the love of your life, but now is not the time to figure it out. Have you ever seen a Woody Allen film?
No, but I've read Woody Allen for class.
Interesting.
If I were you, I would go plan a thing with him. Hopefully he can do the planning. Observe how it happens, because if he's really cool about it and like throws in his money and, you know, finds a cool thing for you guys to do, a fun, you know, and then that'll tell you a lot. And just go into the weekend or the couple days or however long it is with the intention of like, you're going to find out if you really want to pursue this.
Yeah.
And I think you'll know. You
will know. You will get more information. You know. And if nothing else, you'll have a fun weekend with a lover in Europe. I mean, what is more post Sarah Lawrence degree than that? A weekend, was I right?
No.
Damn it. A weekend.
Sorry, no offense. No offense to Sarah Lawrence, but that is not me. That is not me.
A weekend with a lover in some random I mean, dude, take a map of Europe. Have fun with it. Send him 5 cities in Europe and put him in a Chat GPT and tell Chat GPT to tell you where to go, and then you guys just meet there. Have some fun.
Totally. I mean, because he has hinted at me going to visit him in this country, and by hinted at, I mean he brought it up, and I was like, oh, haha, maybe. Except consider I technically legally can't go there, and it is a like U.S. State Department level 3 travel advisory reconsider travel country. So the whole
what is he in Yemen?
The whole me going to visit him, which
that's not an option.
Yeah,
it's not.
Have an adventure.
It's not, even though there is technically a way I could do it legally. I'm not trying to mess with that.
You guys need to find a way to see each other.
Yeah, that's your next text. Write him back and say, I've just been inspired. Let's meet up. Here are the 5 cities I want to see in Europe. Where do you want to meet?
Wait, can I ask you some advice?
Yes.
So how can I be a mom where my kid my 21-year-old still wants to go to Amsterdam with me?
Oh, that's a good question.
What did your mom do? Is she cool?
She's really into tulips. And
that helps so much when it comes to Amsterdam. It's yes.
Yeah. And
hashish.
I haven't seen her like most of this year because I've been living away from home. And I said, let's do it, Mom.
That's what you got to do with this boy.
If you really want to know if he's into you, tell him your mom's in town and you'd love him to fly in to meet her. Now, if he says no, he's not into you. But if he says yes, there's something wrong with him and you shouldn't be with him. So this is perfect.
Right. It's a great way to gauge.
Yeah.
Totally.
Or send your mom to Yemen See if it's safe.
It's not Yemen.
Send her first. See if it's safe, and then you can fly in. And if your mom gets abducted, then you just fly back.
Technically, she could go there legally.
Interesting. Okay, so
It's
she's
a puzzle.
not.
It's a puzzle.
No, I figured it out. She's not Jewish. You are, and that is why you're not allowed in the country. But she could go with her Gentile ways and have a wonderful time sipping tea.
It is related to being Jewish.
All right, Jillian, you're a woman of mystery, and I think that is a good thought to leave with. Embrace the mystery. Stop trying to define things before they're definable. Enjoy it. Eat, pray, love.
All right.
That's what I always say.
Brody Stevens.
You got it.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Thanks so much.
I want to go to Amsterdam and look at tulips with my mom.
I remember someone showed me my room in Amsterdam once, and it was like at the top of an attic, and it was like a closet.
They put you in an attic in Amsterdam? Was it cosplay? It was like Anne Frank cosplay?
There was no beds available in town. I had like biked to like 8 different Airbnbs. Everything was booked. And then I found this one, and it looked like it was okay in the picture, but it was like an attic. And it smelled, and it was like hot.
I'm not trying to stay in an attic in Amsterdam. That brings back bad memories.
No, and I slept there for about, I think, like 12 hours. I remember I had a nice sleep there.
Okay, I'm glad you remembered that sleep.
I'm just saying, Amsterdam, it's intense.
I almost got into a street fight in Amsterdam on a bicycle because a man yelled at me to ride my bike better, and I told him off, and then he stopped, and I looked at him, and he was like covered in muscles, and his neck was like pumping, and I was like, this guy's gonna fucking destroy me. So I was like, thank you, and I rode away.
Well, remember, you're working on that space.
That was years ago, honey.
Okay, good.
It was years ago when we were at the Tumler Comedy Club. Remember that chestnut? All right, Natasha, what do you think? Speaking of Anne Frank, we have some secrets to listen to.
Hi, my secret is that 3 days ago, I found out that I was balding, and I found a bald spot on the very top of my head that I can't see unless I got a mirror. But I'm rather upset about that, possibly because I have nothing to do but go online and research hair loss subreddits, so that's depressing. But last night I was very upset about it, and maybe spent about an hour in bed crying about it. So there.
Well, this is easy. They have medicine. Take the medicine. Take the fucking medicine.
It works, but how expensive is it?
I don't know. But it's not more expensive than being bald. If you're self-conscious.
So you can take Rogaine.
If you're self-conscious about going bald, then just take the fucking medicine. And if you're still self-conscious, then get the implant. Now, the implant is probably super expensive. So that might be, something that you say, well, I just can't afford it. But a little bit of Rogaine and Propecia or whatever, hey, take the fucking medicine. Your hair will grow back.
It's interesting hearing this because it's like men don't usually, usually you think men, doesn't matter how old they are, they age better. But man, they have to deal with going bald.
You like that. You're like smiling and it's feeling good to you. That's kind of weird. Kind of a little weird.
Well, women have to get plastic surgery and
Men get it too. All I'm saying is if you're spending an hour in bed crying, isn't it great that there is a solution that could possibly help you? I mean, it's not that serious. Just take the fucking medicine. Don't they sell
You might have to rub stuff in your hair.
Don't they sell it at
pills.
freaking CVS? I mean, it's like, duh. It's not like you have to go to a clinic. Jump down to a Dwayne Reed. Solve your problem. No more tears. I believe that's what it's called.
I think
Johnson
you need to get
Johnson.
a prescription.
For Rogaine?
Yeah.
No. It's just there.
Does it have side effects?
Well, they say that Propecia, which is I think the pill, can make you lose your libido. So yeah, that's why people don't do it, because of that. But it's like, wouldn't you know if you were losing your libido? And then you can go, okay, I'm going to stop taking this.
Like not everyone loses their libido.
Certainly not. Or no one would ever take that medication.
Right.
Yeah. So just fucking
Because the whole point of having your long locks still is so you can keep getting pussy.
That is the point of having hair, is to pound out pussy on a regular basis. If not for pussy, every man would be bald. Pussy, pussy, pussy.
All right. Well, let's hear another secret.
Let's do it.
Hi, Moshe and Natasha. Good morning. So here's my secret. My secret is that I am a waitress and I hate my job. I'm actively looking for a new one. But if people are a dick to me while I'm working, I definitely spit in their food. I've done it many times. So don't be an asshole to your server.
She's just waiting for the excuse too. Like how many people are downright rude to her? Like if a girl just kind of looks at her wrong, she just kind of hawks a loogie. It makes her feel.
That is so rough. It's so funny because Natasha, you gonna puke? It's so funny because the entire world lives on the illusion that this never happens. They go, "Oh, that never really happens." People just, you're not gonna make it through the podcast, Tosh?
It's so. I just know my food's been spit.
Oh, because you're a bitch?
No, I'm actually really nice.
I'm not. I mean, big time.
But I'm sure it was still spit in sometimes.
For what?
Why not? You think that girl
What do you
needs
mean,
a
why
big
not?
excuse?
You think sometimes she's just like, you know what? They were cool, but today's the day.
Yeah.
No way. Oh,
right.
That is rough. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't spit in people's food. Don't do that.
But food probably gets accidentally sneezed on all the time in the kitchen.
Listen to that David Foster Wallace, This Is Water commencement speech. And understand, even when someone's a dick, they're probably just going through something, You don't need to spit in their food. I will say this. I'm lucky in that I would say, Louis Katz once said, you're so nice to servers, it sometimes seems like you're making fun of them. So maybe they're spitting in my food because I'm being nice.
No, I know why they're spitting in your food.
Why? Oh, because my dietary additions?
You have a really annoying diet and you change your mind you have orders remorse. So every time you order something, you then want to go back to the waiter and tell them.
Think that would cause a spit?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so depressing. Don't spit in people's food, please. All right, let's hear another secret.
Hi. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I just wanted to say I'm a Zoomer, and I've had Watergate explained to me multiple times, and I've taken multiple U.S. history courses, and for some reason I cannot commit to memory what the fuck happened. I don't know. I guess living in a post-Trump era, I can't. It's just not interesting enough. It's not juicy enough. My brain, it doesn't register as a real scandal. And my second secret is that I'm really, really, really anti stealing, and I don't shoplift or anything. But I have a really bad problem of just taking random fucking things from things that aren't for sale, like signs and things like that. And I don't know if that makes me a really bad person. I don't know. I'm very morally conflicted about it. But anyways, those are my secrets. Okay, bye.
Her secret is that she can't commit the saga of Watergate to memory. Maybe.
And that she steals signs.
The sign stealing, okay, sure, that's a secret. But you can't remember Watergate because of Trump?
She makes a good point, though. I never thought of that.
What is it?
Well, when I was trying to memorize stuff in high school, it was so boring. And that was all we knew was boredom.
Watergate was actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, but who gives a shit?
I guess that's true. I mean, who gives a shit about anything?
Well, I'd rather be learning about an artist or something.
I'd rather be learning history. It all depends on what you're into. To me, honestly, learning about an artist, that's a snooze fest right there. Unless they did some cool shit. I mean, just what?
Or watch a cool movie or something.
Monet would sit at the park and he would draw lilies with dots. That's fucking get me out of here. I'm trying to hear about bombs being dropped on Luxembourg. That's the second Luxembourg reference of the podcast. I got Europe on the brain. Natasha?
Yes?
What say you? Shall we call another caller?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's call Gail in Atlanta.
Gail. That's a classic name, isn't it? That's one you don't hear very much anymore. Gail. Named after a wind.
Kind of old fashioned.
I like it though. Gail.
It's a bit of a broad name. I like those broad names.
Oh, she's an old broad named Gail?
Yeah.
Hey, Gail. Bring me my coffee, Gail. Did you spit in his omelet, Gail? Gail, spit in the omelet again. Hello, Gail. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
We were just talking about how you got a classic kind of like, what do you call it, Natasha? A broad name? Like, you know, it's a classic. We like your name. Don't get us wrong. It's just a classic.
How's it going, Gail?
It's going. I appreciate the compliment. So I am actually here looking for advice on how to tactfully tell a friends with benefits situation that I am no longer interested in the benefits, but would like to keep the friendship.
Oh, interesting. Okay, no more sex, but now let me ask you, why are you done?
I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint. We've been hanging out like this for, I don't know, about a year and a half. And it sort of started out as like a pandemic, like, well, it actually started out like as a drunken hookup that we sort of were like, oh, that was fun. Let's continue it on because we're alone and no options out there. And it was fine for a while. And then I just sort of have lost interest. Like, it wasn't like a strong attraction to begin with, but I like them as a person. But they're also 10 years younger than me. Like, there was never really any interest, I think, on either end for it being a long-term thing. And I'm just not into it anymore.
What about them makes you want to still be friends?
We have a similar sense of humor and I enjoy hanging out with them, but also, I mean, there's sort of a very selfish reason in that they are kind of my hookup for a kind of oil that's legal in California but not in Georgia.
Gail, you got to end the friendship. This is very obvious.
Wait, what kind of oil?
I don't know, some kind of weed oil, some kind of tincture, some kind of. I mean,
so you're trying to save the drug connection.
Yes, but also I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, I don't want, I like them as a person and as a friend, but I don't want to make them feel bad or inadequate.
Is it you're using gender neutral pronouns? Can I ask, is this person a man?
Yes, I'm just really conditioned to
No.
say
I'm not knocking it. I was just trying to get down to what's happening. Don't worry. Is a 10 year younger than you man? He doesn't want to be friends. He's going to be down to move along. So feel no guilt. I'm not saying he doesn't think you're cool. I'm just saying, like, if I have a booty call that's a year and a half and they're like, I'm going to stop seeing you. And but I would love to like play Parcheesi sometimes. I'm going to be like, oh no, like both parties are operating out of guilt. He's going to go, okay, we can be friends, and you're going to go, I'll be your friend, but really both of you want to kind of like move on with your lives. So your drug hookup is not interesting to me. You got to find a new connection. You just got to find.
Why can't she break up with him and then say, but I would still be open to buying your oil? Your weed oil.
Take out the friendship and just be like, I want to be your customer.
Why not?
And I mean, we do have some mutual friends, so we'll cross paths. I really just don't want to make him feel bad.
But you also don't want to promise companionship.
I know, and you don't really want. I'm not saying you don't think this person's nice. I'm just saying, if you were like, well, the thing is, I just love being around him, and we have all this amazing stuff in common. I don't want to lose that relationship. Maybe. In general, I'm like very skeptical about like, let's keep being friends. Because most people don't really want that. What they say when I'll be your friend is, I don't want you to think I'm an asshole for ending this, And it's like, there's nothing asshole-ish about moving on from a hookup. That's what dating is. Dating is you date the person until you stop dating the person, and then you move on. Every single thing breaks up, whether it's love, whether it's a sexual only, whatever. So I just think take the guilt out, and then what? Do you still want to be his friend if there was no guilt?
I wouldn't mind hanging out with him.
That's a no.
Still,
but that's sounding like a no.
I wouldn't. It's not going to be a devastating loss.
And the thing you don't want to tell him, but keep to yourself, is that until you break it off with him, you're not going to meet someone who's more appropriate and more kind of does it for you. So you have to kind of like create that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that at some point, I mean, I really didn't imagine like a year and a half later, it would still kind of be happening. Like I figured, oh, he'll meet someone or I'll meet someone. And we're both just kind of like antisocial dorks. So it never happened.
Yeah.
It does be like that. Time goes on and all of a sudden, I mean, I had things like that where all of a sudden I was like, wait, I've had this no strings attached hookup with this person for 3-4 years. Like this, sometimes I would break things off because they'd been going on too long without emotional I was feeling like this feels weird that it's been this casual for this long. So I got the script for you. Okay. Since that's what you were calling about, right? I would say just take out the let's still be friends and just do the breakup. Don't say I don't want to be your friend. Just take that part out and just do the breakup. Say,
Did she say I would still buy your weed oil?
I don't know about all that. I'm just saying there are other connections to weed oil than this particular 20-year-old.
I mean, it is a very good deal, though. Like, I get the friends and family, the cost rate, and inflation is crazy.
Yeah, sure, I hear you. That may be a sacrifice you need to make. An extra, $200 a year on hash oil. But what I'm saying is you break it off with them in an organic way. Just tell the truth. You go, hey, this has been so awesome. I think you're so cool. And I think I need to move on from us hooking up. That's
and then
it.
The second part is you can't then still do it in 2 weeks.
That is the thing.
Because you probably won't have found someone in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It might take 2 months. So I think you need to really sit down with yourself and know that you need to spend 2 months alone without them, and then you do your thing. But at least give it that amount of time.
Do you know the phrase a hangry? It's one of our favorites around here at the Endless Honeymoon podcast.
Yeah.
Hangry, a hungry, angry. You're going to get hornly. Or lonely.
I like hornly.
I guess that was like
hornly.
Beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah,
hornly.
You'll get hornly, and then a few weeks ago, while you go hornly, and you'd be like, God, he's got that good hash oil. He's got mediocre dick. Like, it's better than what I got around. So I think Natasha's right. You got to like be strong, and if he says, well, would you still want to hang out? Then you can say, oh, yeah, of course, or whatever. But don't just try to do the breakup in a like loving, respectful way. Because it sounds like you have love and respect for this guy.
And you say that.
Without saying, and I'll still be your friend. Because that just is like, everyone knows the person's lying when they say that anyway. The person's being broken up with knows it's a lie. The person breaking up knows they're lying. It's like, what is the point of it? Unless it's really true that you're like, I need this relationship. You just say, I just feel like maybe hooking up. We've been doing it for a year and a half and I need to move on. I think you're awesome. And thank you so much for the time we spent together. And then organically, you'll either not be friends, which is definitely what will happen, or you will develop a friendship.
But what about her taking a little time to herself, like saying 100%. To him, like, I'm going to take, I'm going to take some time. And
what I'm suggesting is she doesn't even need to say that. Because
but what if they're used to texting all the time and they think they can transition,
All I'm saying is if you break off with someone, unless there's something wrong with them, they're going to take that as a signal. Oh, I'm going to probably move on from this relationship. You don't necessarily need to say, I'm going to be taking a little space from you. I mean, why? That seems like drama. If it's really no strings attached, you just say, I just need to move on from this relationship, and I think you're the best, and I think we should stop hooking up. And then he's not going to text her anymore. She's not going to text him unless she gets extremely
hornly. All right. Well, good luck. Does that help at all?
No, it's giving me some good food for thought. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And you know what pairs well with food for thought? Some hash oil. Yeah. It makes you want to eat some of that food for thought, Do you get the munchies when you eat weed? Wait, do you smoke hash oil or do you eat it?
It's like in a vaporizer kind of thing.
I see. So you do get the munchies. Wait, but I'm now curious. Do edibles give you the munchies?
Not to me.
Not the way smoking does?
I mean, I've seen it happen, but not personally.
All Moshe's ideas about smoking pot are like that of a 12-year-old. So he's like, oh, you get the munchies.
Oh, do adults not get the munchies?
I don't know.
Is that not part of it when you get older?
Like, that's my mom, though, because they just legalized it in New York. So she is very much that stereotypical, like, giggly munchies. It's pretty funny.
My mom went through a weed phase too. After years of like sending me to rehab on some just say no shit in the 90s. In like 2005, she got her weed card, and I would come over to her house. It would be like a fucking smorgasbord of like, oh, this is a Mendocino purple nugs, and she had like drawers of all this stuff. And then,
But remember, she said she got high when she was pregnant.
she did. She smoked all through my brother's pregnancy, and then not during mine. And guess who's smarter? Him.
She told me she was the queen of weed.
She was definitely a big smoker. Yeah.
When she was pregnant with your brother.
And he's like a fucking like got a doctorate, and he's a rabbi, and I'm over here slanging these DJs.
You're
That's dick jokes.
Oh, I thought that was your mixtape.
Oh, that too. That's not a sign of an intelligent older man. All right. Well, good luck to you. I hope you find some dong that is more fulfilling in the future.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, Natasha, this episode has come to a close, and it's come to a climactic close.
Everything has a cost. You're going to have to make yourself uncomfortable and have a very, very uncomfortable conversation. And in exchange, you'll eventually get what you want.
Exactly. This is why I never feel bad when people break up. Okay, if you're divorced, okay, if you were married or you were in a like 7-year relationship, yes, I will feel some pity for you. But you break up with somebody you've been dating for 6 months and you're heartbroken. I understand the heartbreak is very real. Not that this woman is experiencing anything remotely similar to heartbreak. But breakups, I always go, well, yeah, of course it broke up. They all break up until you get married. And then sometimes that one breaks up. Just like, who cares? This is a part of the experience of being alive. That is, I think, what the theme of today's episode was. It's just all part of the experience of being alive. You know, you don't need to figure out if a thing is real. You don't need to stay with someone you don't want to bone anymore because you're worried what they'll think. You just experience life. Break up with people.
Thanks, Moshe. If you'd like to leave a secret, call us at 213-222-8608. Or send us an email if you want to be on the podcast at endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com.
Here's an important thing. Our Patreon is fatter than ever. I'm about to drop another mixtape. We got these dinner parties coming up.
Moshe hijacked me on a road trip to listen to his mixtape.
How was it, Tosh?
It was pretty good.
Thank you. And also, we have now only for our Patreons, our monthly secret dump. Okay. They are all for the Patreons. It's $5 a month. You get a bonus episode every month of hot secrets. You can find us at Patreon/endlesshoneymoon.
And also, don't forget, we have mugs, robes, beanies. I'm buying all of these mugs. Are so cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
I love our logo. I love our fans.
I love our podcast. And I love our you.
I love you too.